folks, back at it. Today, I'd like to have a fireside chat with you about a topic that gets swept under the rug by everyone, including our, our so-called self-appointed black leaders, who are nothing more than Democrat lapdogs. And and that topic, folks, the topic is history. Many of these Democrats constantly say, if you're not on our side, then you are on the wrong side of history. This failings of pompous, demagogic fetches are trying to shame you. They're trying to shame you and I for being against something. Uh, um, they're shaming you and I for being against everything we were once against hitherto. I mean, have you ever wondered who benefits more from our plight? Furthermore, which party finds satisfaction in our violent neighborhoods, our broken families, our genocide, and our depleting population? I'm gonna tell you something. You need not look any further than the Democrat Party itself. Now, I for one am not absolving the Republicans for their betrayal. Fuck no, I'm not. I mean, they had our support and loyalty in the 1850s to 1877 and further on. In 1877, which was the presidency of Rutherford B. Hayes, and the betrayal of the Negro that ended the Black Reconstruction. You have you have a conclave of these black conservatives and Republicans changing history, foolishly postulating that NRA was the first civil rights organization helping to free the Negroes. And as an NRA member myself, I like to know how did they do this when the organization came about in 1870 fucking one. When see when when black Republicans do shit like this, they 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 make themselves look as guilty as lying ass liberals. See, black Republicans need not lie. History is history is more of a friend to us than it is to the Democrats. It's more on our side. It's more on the GOP side. But notwithstanding some of their fuck ups as well. Now, I must I must go backward for a second. In 1854, Wisconsin, the Republican Party was formed. See, beside the quixotic parables about being formed to stop slavery, the organization's purpose was to stop Democrats from turning Western territories into slave states. Not to stop slavery just outright. Hell no. See, this pissed Southern Democrats off because They still was so, a little upset. They didn't get over the tariffs levied on them by the North. And then then South Carolina said, okay, look, assholes, we we took all that we could stand and we can't stand no more. Abraham Lincoln became president, and Southern states left the Union, and it was prepared for war. Before the war, though, before the war started, United States Senator John J. Crittenden, who was a Democrat, introduced the Crittenden Compromise in a haphazard attempt to stop war from happening between the Union and the CSA. However, if if Lincoln had agreed to this compromise, slavery would have continued to go south out of America, reaching as far as the southern axials of the globe. Now, when the Senate voted against the Crittenden compromise, Crittenden was befuddled and said, "Why the hell are you guys voting against this?" The Senate answered, "Well, schmuck, we don't want our original sin being a thing of perpetuity. Thus, goddamn it, we got to go to war." This is what they said. The Crittenden. So Crittenden said, "Nope, fuck it. Okay, I tried." This is what he said. Now, leapfrogging back to the former paragraph. Now, I know you Negroes are thinking, how how are the Republicans on the right side of history if they betrayed us? Well, good question. I'm glad you've asked that shit. Indeed, indeed, they did. The GOP did turn their back on us. However, the DNC has been giving the Negro their ass to kiss uh, since the party's inception. A couple of decades later, a putz named Woodrow Wilson came along and he said, "Hey, Negroes, vote for me. I'll be a good white man to you." He won the presidency, and this schmuck did everything but be a good white man to the Negro. As a matter of fact, he was the reason for the second revival of the Ku Klux Klan. Additionally, in uh, in 1924, I believe. Matter of fact, yeah, I know I'm right. The DNC convention at Madison Square Garden was a tapestry of such racism. It was called the Klan Bake because of the sheer numbers of Klansmen that were in attendance. I believe it was I believe it was 20,000. Matter of fact, yeah, yeah, Matter of fact, I know it. 20,000 Klansmen. This political shindig proved proved the party proved the party divide. You see, one side supported Al Smith, a New York Democrat, a Catholic. Excuse me, that was inappropriate. Now, On the other side, they the other side of the Democrats, they supported William Gibbs McAdoo, uh, who was a Protestant and a Klan supporter. McAdoo supported later supporters. They later met in New Jersey and concluded the meeting with a cross burning after they assaulted a picture of Al Smith and opining their vexation of Republican President Calvin Coolidge. Um, his stance on equality and the scandal that ripped through his presidency, the Teapot Dome scandal. 2 years afterwards, in the same state, New Jersey, heifer by the name of Margaret Sanger spoke at a female KKK rally and laid out her Negro project executing her plans. She said, "These Negroes are dumb. They'll believe anything this well-dressed minstrel will say." The Negro pastor. So she paid this cut up to preach the godliness of eugenics. She told this Negro Judas, "Nigga, look, hush those boot lips, and don't tell them our plan that I paid you for." And that Negro looked as defenseless as a puppy dog and said, "Yes, boss. Yes, boss." You see, Singer was a racist Democrat, and her memory is still celebrated by Democrats today. Now, schmucks like political will tell you Singer was a maverick for women's health, and they'll tell you, do not read her autobiography. Don't read it. None of the stuff that's in it is true. None of it. She was a good person. This is what they'll tell you. Furthermore, in the 1930s, there was a Democrat firebrand racist from Mississippi by the name of Theodore G. Bilbo. Bilbo, a member of the Ku Klux Klan, thought Negroes were inferior. However, he was attracted to the black separatist movement um, by people by people like Marcus Garvey because because that could get the Negro out of America's hair. So Bilbo went to the Senate and said, "Hey, Mr. President," that's what he said. Now, I have a great idea. I have a great idea that these monkeys agree with, and all we have to do, all we have to do is just give them a one-way ticket back to Africa, and our hands will be washed from this whole ballyhoo. However, however, some didn't want to go back to Africa, and they decried. Well, this is our home too. State government said, "Oh, okay, okay." Now the violence you Negroes may face is out of our hands. The paramilitary groups will run amok on you. So just stay in your place. Skipping, skipping to the 1960s. The false on Washington happened. JFK's assassination is happening, and Now, his vice president became POTUS, Lyndon Baines Johnson. Now, LBJ was a politician who voted against every single civil rights bill that came his way. The protege of co-author of the Southern Manifesto, Richard Russell. Man, LBJ decided to play to Negro credulity and signed the the Civil Rights Act of 1964. when news when news got back to the news crew, Richard Russell was fucking livid. He was livid, and he said, you know what, we have to boycott this shit." Richard told Eastland to call LBJ up, cause shit, I'm too mad to talk to the guy. That's what he said now. So later on that night, Easton called him, and he said, "Hey, buddy, what the fuck are you doing?" LBJ said, "Look, I'm the same old Texan. What I have done is effectively turned the Negro into a loyal, captured voting bloc for the Democrats. Additionally, he said the beautiful thing about what I've done is that the Negro doesn't like to read. The Negro was allergic to books." This is what LBJ said. LBJ added, "Buddy, it will take decades for this Negro to learn that it was the Republican vote that got this act passed. However, because I passed it, the Negro will be beholden to us, the Democrats." Eastland. So now Eastland started scratching his head. Eastland said, "Huh, okay, buddy. But you should still come down to Dixie and explain this shit to us because we're we're about to protest this shit. And Russell, he got a bad heart." Now, now 56 years later, now 56 years later, we have declined. Unfortunately, black family and camaraderie was better structured during Jim Crow. The Negro is now such a Democrat lapdog. The Negro will support anything posed by the DNC. They'll support a Democrat in blackface. The Negro will even clap and cheer when a white Democrat is talking to them in old slave lingo. These these limousine liberals can talk to the Negro any way they see fit. Hell. Did you hear the way Biden spoke to those shuns? I mean, how he spoke to that sister and those brothers about 2 weeks ago. I mean, he scalded those Negroes. He scalded those Negroes for their undying support. That's what they got. A good scalding, stern talking to. This is what he did to these Negroes. See, year by year, it gets worse for the Negro. Nothing gets better. We vote the same way, but want a different fucking result. You know what? A month ago, Trump's former buddy, P. Diddy, said, "We blacks practice insanity by voting by voting the same way, expecting a different result." Soon after, soon after, this cut up raised money uh, uh, and donated it to the DNC via AdBlue. Much, now much like many Negroes, Diddy can't help it. He can't help it. He, like others, were conditioned to give their loyalty to the Democrats. Your average teenager turns 18 and wants to consanguineously cast a vote for the Democrats. The black teenager, he can't even explain his love for Democrats nor his hatred for Republicans. Can't tell you. All he knows is that we hate Republicans and we love Democrats. That's all he can tell you. Today, Negroes have pledged their allegiance to a party that caused all of the Negroes' political calamities in America. America. Boy, you's a tricky bitch, America. But anyway, however, to the Negro, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that blue states make it hard for blacks to defend themselves. It matters not that Democrats enacted policies that decimated the nuclear family. It doesn't matter that that the educational system in Democrat-run cities are failing children and are subpar. And fuck, so what if black communities are crime ridden and blacks are expected to fall victim to murder? See, none none of this shit matters. None of this shit matters. Don't matter that Junebug kills Man Man, Pookie kills Ray Ray. It doesn't matter. See, none of this shit matters because to the Negro, this is better than being a Republican sellout. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we must think differently. We're losing numbers at an alarming rate. We are currently sliding down a razor blade into an alcohol river. We have been on the same ride for 50 plus years. Has anything changed besides an uptick in violence? The answer is no. Stop listening to these well-dressed jigaboos. Their only mission is to enrich themselves. They don't give a shit about you, Negroes. Some of these, some of these Negroes have been, I guess, leading since the 70s, and everything has gotten worse. And let me tell you schmuck something. Let me tell you schmuck something. For years, some 50 some odd years, the Negro held the coveted voting bloc as the majority minority. You were you were in a position to get everything you politically wanted, but 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 you did nothing. You did nothing with this position that you had, except squander it. You only you only benefited the Republic. I mean the Democrats. Did nothing for yourself though. And now, since your services are no longer required, they've moved on to the new majority minority bloc, the Hispanic, which is why in the NC debates you heard them speaking Spanish. They shit, man. They don't need the Negro anymore. Why do you think that the Democrat mayor of Chicago is not doing anything to quell on all the violence? They care not. They care not if the Negro exterminates himself. They don't give a shit. They don't. They don't need you. They're done with this Negro. They're done with this Negro. They're done with you Negroes. They're done. There's a new sheriff in town, and the Negro has no one to blame, no one or nothing to blame but itself. And that's it. Well, that yeah, that that's all I have to say about that. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell while you're at it. That's it. That's all, folks.